a no-show. All
Nice.
right, here
Trying
we
to
go.
make sense of the payment schedule. But
Same here. Hello, everybody. Welcome or welcome back to my channel. Just sitting here chatting with my friend Rebekah. Good morning, Rebekah.
morning.
So, how are you today? We're just discussing classes.
I'm good. Good. I'm still teaching online ESL in the early mornings with a couple different companies and then out school during the day.
Yeah. Today I had VIP kid classes this morning. Well, I had one no-show and then one awesome kid. I just converted his trial last week, and this was his first class. And he's just a little smart cookie. So it's a
I
lot
like
of
those.
fun. Yeah, he's older, so it's a lot of fun to be able to ask questions and just chat. So all
Mhm.
right, but today is not about VIP Kid. We are talking about parent-teacher conferences. We thought, well, especially Rebekah brought this to my attention, that parent-teacher conferences are coming up soon. So are you a teacher getting ready for parent-teacher conferences? Are you a parent and you're trying to think of questions to ask the teacher? Maybe this is for you as well. So all right, Rebekah, where should we start? I have
I don't know. I'll let you start, but I will give a little introduction.
oh
I used
yes.
to be a kindergarten teacher and would have to make these report cards for my
Mhm.
kindergartners to give to the parents. And I was on the teacher side of it. Well, now I'm on the parent side of it. I have a preschooler who's going to the 3-day or 3-year-olds preschool class, and I have a second grader. So now I'm on the
Mhm.
parent side, and it's a little bit different. They always warned you as a teacher, just wait until you have kids. I'm like, but it is just a little bit different.
It
But I
is.
also have the appreciation as being a prior teacher,
Yeah.
um, to see things from the teacher's point of view. And I'm not going to go and attack the teacher going, well, but my kid, no,
Yeah.
I want it to be a team. And that's the important thing. Parent, child, teacher, we're all
Yeah.
working as a team. So how to make these conferences the best so that you
Mhm.
can all help the child.
We're on the same page, Rebekah. I don't know if you saw in the description, but I talked about what parents can do and what teachers can do, how we can work as a team. So I am right on board with you.
Yep.
Well, a little bit of our experience or my experience with
Mhm.
parent teacher conferences, our whole school district would send out a letter saying how important they are, how parents should be, available. And then the teachers would send it out. I would send out that slip with a suggested time. I had 20 students, so we have 2 days for conferences. I don't know what other teachers have, but this is from 2014.
I had one like that
Um,
too.
yeah, so this is from 2014. I had 2 days for conferences. I usually left the first one blank just so I can make sure everything's ready, have my coffee. But of course, if a parent needed it, it was there for them. But then I would just schedule them in pencil. And then if they said that time and day was okay, then we would check it off. If they said they had a problem with it, they could send back better times. So we really tried to work around that. I also found, I should put some of this maybe somewhere, but I had also used a sheet. And I feel like this is important whether you're doing parent teacher conferences or whether you're going to an IEP meeting. And it just says, you and I are going to talk about someone very special next week. That someone special, of course, your child. And when we meet about parent teacher conferences, I'm going to talk about these things. And there's just kind of a list of how your child's doing, what we've done so far, and what we plan to do, and how we can work together as a team. And I also let them know that during IEPs or parent teacher conferences, you don't always get to hear all of the great stuff and the good stuff. Of course, parent teacher conferences, we want to do a sandwich.
Jesus says hi.
The good information, maybe some information that they need to know. Maybe it's not all the great information. And you always end on a positive note. So I have notes ready, guys. I was super excited for this one. So that's what we do before conferences. We send the letter and then I send that letter. So let's see. During conferences, I think it's important. I always had a sheet of what I wanted to talk about. And those that know me know I'm ADHD. So I need a list. So the first thing I talk about is the child's report card. The second thing was their BAS scores, which is like their reading, how they're doing, where they should be,
Some do
things like
the
that.
ISATs or, whatever map
Whatever
scores, whatever.
testing.
Yeah. Whatever testing thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I always had it, and I showed them what the end of the year looks like. This is our goal. So if your student is here struggling, here's where we're going to try to get them to. So I think it shows them like what we're working towards. Do all students get there? Not necessarily, but they all make, some type of progress.
This is where you need to be to move on to the next grade.
Yeah.
I think.
And at that time, I always have all of their emergency cards with me so that they check their emergency contacts on their card, because I don't know how many of you know, but I used to work on a military base where people left and came all the time. So we didn't necessarily have family members on their emergency cards. And then that person would leave, and then we'd have trouble getting a hold of somebody. So at every conference, I had my emergency cards there and they checked them.
How many conferences did you have?
During the year, we did one a quarter.
Oh, one a quarter. Okay.
I believe it was one a quarter. Yeah.
When I was a teacher, we did 2. We did one in October and then one in April.
You're right.
We sent home a report card in January, but we didn't require to meet with the parents. If somebody wanted to, they could, but not many did. This year, one of my kids only has one. Like, they have report cards every quarter, but we only have one conference in October. After that, it's optional.
Right. I think it was 2 now that I think about it. And I remember like on the report card, the first quarter, you didn't have to write a comment because we had conferences. So the rest of the quarters, we had to make sure we put them on there. So yeah, you're right. Huh. Yeah, I forgot about that.
Every school's a little bit different. So be in the comments, people, how does your school do it? How often do you meet with the teacher, and how often do you just receive a printed off report card?
I was a very available teacher, and I loved parents coming in. I'll have to do a video on it, but like I had parents could start coming in September or October. So they would sign up for volunteer stuff during my conferences if they wanted to, or take information home. I had parents come in almost every day. So anytime a parent needed me, they pretty much could come anytime. Kelly said, thanks for reminding me that I need to go sign up for my son's parent-teacher conferences.
That's also something different. Yeah, nowadays they're having online signups. So like a couple weeks before, for example, my daughter's conference is October 13th or like 12th. We just got a notice a week ago. So it's like a 2-week notice. Like, okay, here they go live. Everybody like rushes on to the sign up genius and tries to pick the best spot they could. When I was teaching, we didn't have that.
I didn't think about that.
I had a piece of paper like you did, taped to the front of my door, because that's where people would pick up their kids, at my door, not the school door. So they could just sign up as they picked up their kids. Oh, but this year for my preschooler, they had a sign up sheet at the meet the teacher night before the school year even started. It's like, hi, meet the teacher, sign up for your conference now. I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing mid-October.
Wow. Yeah. Those of you still at my old school, let me know. Is it all online now, or are you still doing it the same way?
Although I do like the online, because we have to meet with multiple teachers for my daughter. So we're trying to find a way to go almost back to back. So it just is seamless versus trying to like run to the next door. You can just go look at the links and try to arrange it.
Yeah. So parent-teacher conferences were very different for middle school, high school. You had to go to different teachers, or they had more of like an open house. Like you followed your child's schedule. And that's how we did those. So
and then all the specials would meet in the gym, like the PE teachers. So they would all meet in the gym, little desks.
During it, I also gave them information about like, don't forget, we have library every day 3. Make sure your child has their book on there. They would also sign up for the alphabet feast there, because I had attention for every parent. So the alphabet feast was, instead of Thanksgiving, we had like a friendship feast, and we were just celebrating all the letters in the alphabet. And I would have a list of ideas, and they would come in and just sign up like, A, apple cider, bring in 1 jug of juice. You know what I mean? Like, that's it. So they would sign up for things like that. We talked about behavior charts, how to teach your child to log into the computers. And really, I mean, just about that kind of things, you know. I always had a sign on my door if I was in another conference, so they didn't just walk in. It just says, take a look at, you know, the reading materials that they find on a table near them while they're waiting. And that was stuff like the importance of brain development, moving your body, and, you know, anything I could find research based that I thought would help their child. You know, I just left it out there for everybody, whoever came through that door. So just a little thing if you're looking for something to keep the parents busy. If they show up early, I don't know about how the parents are there, but I don't know.
I think nowadays the parents just go on the phones, but I think it's really good to have something for them to look at while they're waiting.
Yeah.
What's your policy on the students coming to the parent-teacher conferences?
You know what? I've always been fine with it. I don't advertise that I'm fine with it, you know. Most of them would come in during their work time because parent-teacher conferences were, you know, usually
Through the
during work
day.
time. So they would like come in for 30 minutes on their lunch break or something. I was very fortunate in that I worked on a military base, and the military found it very important for them to miss 30 minutes to go help their child with this, you know. So pretty much they just came in by themselves. But I always had kids coming in or kids with siblings. That doesn't bother me at all. I always had my housekeeping center open and they could play in there. So
Yeah, I had a
neat. You can hear the siblings tell the smaller siblings or the older siblings how to play and not play in my classroom. The mom's like,
That's true.
oh.
Yeah, I had a table outside in the hallway with some coloring things. So in case they brought their kids,
Yeah.
We didn't advertise it. You know, sometimes I prefer to not have the kids there because we're talking about somebody. We don't want to have eavesdropping over
Right.
here. But I did give some stuff just in case. I know that my daughter's schools, both of them, they have two different schools, say it's a kid-free, can't bring your kids. Well, to me, that's hard because I stay at home with my kids.
Yeah.
And if I have to go, I have to find a babysitter.
Right.
For like 30 minutes, but when you travel time there and back, it's like an hour and a half. And it's just, it makes it complicated of,
Right.
you know, what do I do with my kids if I can't bring them? So we were able to make some things work.
Right.
And they're 2 different days in 2 different schools. So yeah, it can be hard. So I understand why some parents did have to bring their kids because they really had nowhere to go.
Right. I mean, I was thinking in the older grades, maybe it would be difficult to take little kids or with the middle schooler or something, you know, because you are talking about them. But I think in kindergarten or preschool, or they kind of see the room and they'd rather be in the housekeeping center, in the block center versus being with their parents talking to me anyway. Some are like, really? You know, and they sit there and listen and stuff. And I'm like,
and I've heard some teachers prefer their like preschoolers coming to the conference so they can show their parents what they've been learning. You know, let's watch your child count the blocks. Oh, you can see right here that he's missing the number 4 consistently. Let's work on that. So it's a way so they can see, oh, okay.
Yeah, I think that's a good point. Teachers, parents, what do you prefer? Kids coming or kids staying home or staying with a sitter? I want to know what you guys think on that one.
And it depends on the age of the kid. Middle schoolers, you might want them to come because it shows responsibility of you need to work harder in this class, or you need to turn your assignments in, versus just telling the parents. You can tell the teenager. So it depends on the age of the student. I'm trying to remember back to when I was in middle school and high school, like how did our conferences go?
I think the kids could come if they wanted to for my kids in middle school. Because they had to show us around the school too at one point.
Yeah, I think I did go because my parents would be lost in my high school. It's huge.
Right?
Like, where's this room? Where do we go? I'm like, hey, Mom, look, it's my teacher. Yay. You know, I wanted to show it off, but that was me.
Another thing I used to give them was this stuck on a word, like if the kid's reading, what they can do. Just these are the little things I would keep in the hallway, you know. And the last thing is I always sent them home with a thank you letter, maybe a note of what we talked about. Let's see, send home thank you letter. And then of course, what they said they would donate for Thanksgiving or the alphabet feast. But I thought it was important to send off or to send home a thank you letter and maybe a little bit of something we talked about so that they knew that I was invested, that we're on a team and things like that. And like I said, I love to keep parents in the loop. I think that's important. So Kelly, when she wrote print it off, it's still cracking me up because now I really want to know, do schools, are they online with all of this now?
Yeah, I don't know. My school is a very small private school, 100 students maximum. There was no car line. You just, parked your car and went in because it was just such a small school. Well, the schools we go to now, they're huge schools. And so we have to do the whole, car line, sign up online for everything. If we have feasts that come up, we've got a couple like character days or parties. It's all sign up genius. It gets sent out by email. Parents sign up for a thing and they bring it in because you don't get to walk inside the school anymore as a parent just freely. So you can't just like sign up at the door. It has to all be by email. One, it's so big, and two, schools are becoming more closed campuses now.
Security. Yeah, I agree. We of course always had that too. I mean, we've always had it where everybody had to sign in at the office, their picture taken, everything just to get on campus. There was only one way in there, 100 ways out. So you don't have to worry about that. Fire code people. It was fine.
Right.
We had over 1,000 kids just pre-K through second grade.
Oof.
Yeah.
Yeah,
we had
lots
of fun, lots of babies. So but we had lots of parking. We left out there because we had the grocery store near us and people just parked there and walked.
And they're allowed to. That's good. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's about all I can think of. Most of our information is elementary school, but if you have a middle school or a high school, let us know how those parent teacher conferences go, or what do you talk about? But did you have a different experience talking about things like for preschool? You don't really have reading. I guess you do letters.
Yeah, I mean, in kindergarten, we would start reading probably January. So we did a lot of letter recognition the first semester, and then we got to reading. So I was able to show them where we wanted to go,
right?
Show them where they are now. And sometimes I could tell in September that this kid is going to struggle all throughout the year. So I was very tactful in how to present it. Like, we're going to make him go as far as he can, and prepare him for as much as we can with counting and with letters and all those things. And so I'd write down notes, and I did write down notes on all the report cards, whether we met in person or not, because sometimes it's like going to the doctor's office. You hear words and you go home like,
what was that?
Talk about? So I haven't written
like
down.
Right.
Having written down helps because you can refer back to, oh, okay, yeah, that's all right. We talked about that. Yeah. And I think as a parent, we need to come in not being defensive about our child. We have to come with an open mind. Because yes, we see our children at home all the time, but they see our children in an academic setting for X amount of hours a day, and they see a little bit different part of it, or how they interact with peers their own age, instead of siblings who are much younger or much older than they are. So you get a feel for, like, my preschooler never talks in class, like, she's super shy. But at home, she's a chatterbox. So I pick her up like, wow, she speaks. So, but she's just so shy and just kind of, I will listen and obey. I'm like, so good, because I have to yell at her sometimes because she's not listening. You can see a different side of it.
Yeah.
But especially with somebody who's struggling a little bit, like how to help them progress at their stage. You never want to compare them, because it's so easy as a parent to say, well, my kid is down here and everybody else is up here. No, the top people are here, but most people are here. Okay, so don't compare way up here, but let's bring them up a little bit. And how do we do that, especially if they use a different curriculum than you were brought up with?
I had a book in the bag that we sent home. I had a parent that did it. I think that really helped. She would read the book in the classroom with the child and then send it home. And then the next week, the child would bring it and read it to her. And it was a great little program. I'll have to talk about that on another day. All right, guys. Well, I hope he hasn't woken up yet.
No, he's good. He went back to sleep. So he's happy. My baby was crying, but Monitor's silent now, so we're good.
Oh, good.
I'll check
So
on him.
yeah, let us know upcoming conferences. What are you guys doing for them? What are you looking forward to? Parents, what questions are you going to ask? Maybe we should come up with a list of questions that parents can ask at conferences. You know, you want to know where your child's at, what you can do to help your child, or what the school is doing to help your child. You know, don't be afraid to ask
And
questions.
it's more than just academic. How's my kid doing in math? How's my kid doing in writing? It's also, does my kid, like, do they know how to use scissors? I had to
Problem
tell a
solving.
parent once that I'm like, you need to work with your child on holding the scissors instead of going upside down like this and, you know, towards you like
I
this.
was
And
that
like,
parent.
so like practice at home. Like, we have to cut at home. Don't be
Yeah.
scared about it. Don't be scared. But just show them how to hold the scissors and how to
Rebecca, I
cut
was the
away
same
from
way.
you. Yes.
I didn't
And
know.
you
Like
know,
using sharp things. I'm not gonna let my kids
right,
use this
right.
thing. Like,
Because especially they cut
yeah.
furniture and
So my
stuff.
poor kid
I get
wasn't
it.
ready. Sorry if you're watching this, but my poor child was not ready to use scissors in the classroom. I didn't know. I
I
just
feel
thought
like
put
firstborns
them away
or
after
only
they're done.
children may not know these
Yeah.
things. By the
As
time you get
soon
your second kid,
as soon as your child is done using them at home, put them away, and always watch them with them, because someone always cuts their hair. Someone always cuts something they're not supposed to. So
and hide them up high. We've had to do
scissors
that.
up the paper.
I had them over like in a drawer. Bad idea. We had some problems. So now they're up high by our plates, like in the cupboard, so that
Yes.
only I can get it. We're hiding the Sharpies and the scissors. We'll let them use it if we are there for our projects and stuff, but we hide them.
Right. Good idea.
Yeah, but
I
you have to
never
talk.
thought of things like that. So that's why I think it's really important for them to ask the teacher. Don't be afraid to go to these conferences and learn something that you didn't know, you know?
Yeah, so like academically, fine motor, large motor, social skills, how are they in class? Are
Sharing,
they
problem solving.
always eager to share? I mean, teachers have like really good teacher phrases to say that he talks too much, he needs to raise his hand. He's always eager to share, he needs to wait his turn.
Oh, good one. I used to have a book on that, Rebecca, because I'm such a people pleaser, and I was like, I wanted to say something. So there was an actual book that you could use for report cards to go through and how to phrase something. Now you guys have Chat GPT or something.
Right? Like I used to write up my report cards, you type them up, and then because I only had like 12 kids, I would give them to my principal, especially my first year. I'm like, can you read this over and see what you think? She goes, let's soften this one a little bit. Like, okay, how would you soften this one for the parents? So would it be so like harsh?
Yeah.
So she helped me find the right wordings. By the second and third year, I was better at it, but like, I don't know what I was supposed to write. And I don't want to, label like, your kid is a bully. You're like, your kid needs to learn how to take turns.
And not push when he gets angry.
Right. We're learning on controlling our emotions a little bit.
Right.
So as parents, you got to read between the lines a little bit and say, okay, I know this kid, he's my kid. I know what they're trying to say here.
Right. Oh. Okay, you can still see me, right? Okay, good.
Yeah.
A thing came up that an ad. I just skipped the ads just now. So you shouldn't be getting them. Let me know if you do, Kelly, or who's ever watching. So yeah, I think approaching the teacher and making a team is really what it's all about, to help children succeed,
Yeah.
Teamwork.
Yeah. Don't wait till things are an issue.
Oh, yeah.
Before you reach out.
Yeah. I like how you said don't get defensive, because I think that's one of the things, like, I'm not here to tell you everything that's wrong with your child. I'm just here to tell you how they can succeed or help or not disturb the whole class.
My child's an angel. They'll never do anything wrong. I know we want to think that.
Yeah. And sometimes, a child might be really restrained at home, and then they let loose in school because they're just so excited to be around all their peers their age and all of these fun things and colors and things like that, where they might act out in school versus at home, or vice versa. Some parents come to me and they're like, look, I don't know why they're acting up. Are they learning stuff at school that, are other kids doing this and they're taking it home? And I'm like, actually, they try to behave all day in school. And I tell them, that's great parenting. You taught them how to behave outside of the home. I said, but when they get home, they have behaved all day. They are ready to let loose. And they're like, oh, okay.
Yeah, for them, home is their safe space and they've held it in all day long.
Yeah.
And they just like, and the parents are like, ha, but you cannot expect a kid to behave from morning time to bedtime perfectly well. They need that space to just let loose, whether it's at school or at home. They need that place to just let it out.
Very normal. Awesome. All right, everyone. I hope you like this video. Please don't forget to give us a like and a thumbs. I guess that's the same thing, a like and a thumbs up. Subscribe and share. And I'm not sure our topic next week, but we'll come up with something good for you. So
sounds good. If you have any suggestions, write down below.
Put them in here. Check out Teacher Rebekah F's YouTube channel. And I love the games that she plays with her family. I won't tell you all about it. You'll have to go check them out. And that's it.
Yeah, but it's in science experiments, math games. Sometimes I will teach it again on YouTube with my child so that you guys can do it along with us.
Yeah, if you have the fizzy salt one is on there, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So if you have littles, go check out the fizzy salt one. She's got a great fun time with her child on there, and she can teach you how to do that with yours. So, all right, everyone. We'll see you all next week. Bye.
See ya.
Thanks,
Bye.
Rebekah.